I'm Evan, Matt, Michael. Back to the NFL today. Let's start. Let's start with our team thoughts. Michael, Packers, Matt, Giants, Dolphins. With myself, Michael. Packers played 2 nights ago, lost to the Raiders. Give me a little quarter through the season breakdown.
Yeah, I'm upset. I'm distraught. Um, this was not the turn of events I guess I was expecting after the successful start to the season. Yeah, I mean, Love. I expected a lot of ups and downs in this season. I didn't expect this many downs as soon as they have happened, and just like the sudden turn after the Saints comeback. And it sucks. And I think in the long run, it's not that bad. They'll get a good draft pick. I mean, I shouldn't have been expecting much this year. It's like the youngest team in the league, so hopefully we'll fire our defensive coordinator. LaFleur will figure it out because I don't think he's going to get fired, and we'll just keep playing through the season. Maybe finish with 7 wins and have a solid pick and move on.
Wait, so what I'm getting out of this is you're already looking to the draft. You've no hopes for
No,
no
yes,
hopes.
you're correct. I have no hopes for the playoffs.
Wow.
But I that I'm not I'm more just I want to see more good things out of Love. That's the biggest thing I'm looking for. And there's a part of me that wants our defense to get shredded so that we finally get rid of our coordinator because I just can't take him. Like we all saw Preston Smith on Devontae Adams. That's all you need to
Oh my
see.
God, that video was hilarious.
I just don't get it. And on Myers's touchdown, I'm literally saying to the TV, he's wide open in the slot. How can I see it and the defensive coordinator can't? Is what I don't understand.
All right,
I'm
Matt.
surprised you're
Let's.
putting. I was
No, go
surprised you're
ahead.
putting trust in the draft after the Packers' recent draft history.
It hasn't been that bad. We've hit on a few good picks.
Let's transfer over to Matt's Giants, who could be a little worse than the Packers if that's possible at the moment. But let's talk about them real quick, Matt.
I think they're the second worst team in the league, probably after the Patriots. And all I think about now is I just wish they lost to the Cardinals. So I'd rather be the worst team in the league than fifth worst because you need the draft pick. I'm not sold on Daniel Jones, but I'm not sold on the team at all. Like everything is just there's not one bright spot of this team besides Graham Gano. And I don't know what happened with Brian Dable. The team is just lacking the energy. I'm so confused.
Do you think last year was a fluke?
Yes, 100%. Team, it was just a run, in my opinion. It was shocking that Saquon played every single game last year because in the past, he's very injury prone, and the fact that he's not playing, there's no hope. And also, the receivers don't really do much either besides Waller, and he's rarely getting any catches during the game.
He had 8 catches last week against the Dolphins, but still. But the O line is a big issue in a lot of Giants fans' opinion. Do you think that is leading to Jones's fall at the moment, or is it Jones's fault?
Well, we got to talk about the whole Evan Neal quote, the whole flipping burgers quote. I mean, that was ridiculous. I hate that guy now.
That was
People are
ridiculous.
spending their money to go to this game, and you're roasting them for flipping burgers, and he's also just bad. I want Andrew Thomas to keep on playing, but he doesn't have the grit. I feel like every week he's got an injury. To be a good O lineman in the league, you got to play through the injuries and be tough, and he doesn't have that. But when he's on the field, he's amazing. Who knows when he'll be back out there?
Yeah, the offensive line is awful. Like just watching the Dolphins, they had 7 sacks after a week where the Seahawks had 11 sacks or whatever it was. It's just I feel bad for Jones, but granted, he's not helping himself. But also the skill position players, whatever. We all get it. Giants are a mess right now. A team that's not a mess, the Miami Dolphins. Um, Coming off a loss to the Bills where it was close for the first half and a quarter maybe, but then it went on a downward spiral.
Hmm.
It was an annoying game. It was definitely frustrating coming in with all the hype. Achan looks great. Achan, whatever. Um, he had another great week, week 5. He's injured, which sucks. A couple of weeks here and there, but I'm just happy that they're 4-1. And Waddle missed the game. Jalen Ramsey hasn't played. Saron Armstead has missed 2 games. Like it's a good sight so far, but granted they haven't played good teams besides the Bills, and we know what happened then. So, what do you guys thoughts on the Dolphins so far?
Yeah, I'm a little skeptical. I mean, whenever we move to the power rankings, I'll get into that more. But yeah, I mean, their offense is obviously electric and can score. I mean, like so quickly. There is I what do you think about like if the offense is scoring so quickly all the time, and then the defense is on the field the majority of the time? Do you
Yeah.
think that that causes any issues for the defense?
No, I definitely can't see why it wouldn't. Just because Achane's running for 76 yards, Tyreek getting a 70-yard touchdown. It's just they're always on the field, and the offense is on the field for 40% of the game when the defense has to carry. Like
Yeah.
tiredness, the defense isn't that young.
Hmm.
Besides Holland and Cam Smith now, but still, I definitely could see that. Yeah. Would you? Let's transition a little bit. Would you say that? What would you say is the biggest threat to the Chiefs in the AFC right now? Would you say the Dolphins are up there?
I would say they're up there, but I would still take the Chiefs in a playoff game against the Dolphins.
No,
I,
I
I think
would too.
I
I'm
think the
just saying,
biggest threat would be the Bills.
I agree.
even with their injuries, you think so?
Yeah, but
Really?
I do think it's the Chiefs' conference to lose.
I agree.
I would think before the season that the Bengals were the biggest threat, and even though they played better last week, I think the
The
Chiefs are
Cardinals.
pretty far ahead of
Uh,
any other AFC team.
the Bills are a scary team to get me granted. Any team with Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs is scary, but the injuries really concern me. On the
Yeah,
defensive end, no Davius White, Matt Milano got hurt in London. I mean, it's an old team. Von Miller just came back, granted, but still, you know what I mean?
And Stephon Diggs is a total diva. You see what he was doing on this? No, I'm like dead serious. He doesn't seem like a good teammate at all.
Yeah,
yeah.
the iPad throw.
Like he still had like 130 plus yards, over 8 catches, and he's still complaining. Just bad energy for the team.
Yeah, well, the Bills were up there, but not so much at this point. Let's go to teams that are up there. Power rankings 5-1. Matt, give us your 5 spot.
Speaking of five, they picked the Dolphins. They've fallen a little bit in my rankings. You don't have to go over the whole spiel where I know they're not going to be a good playoff team. They look great right now. I mean, they played good versus the Giants defense. Did you see that one play? I don't know the exact guy. Rookie cornerback playing press man coverage on Tyreek.
Wasn't
Just
it
got
like
blown by. I mean,
wasn't it like a 6-round pick or something?
I have no
Fifth
idea.
round, 6-round pick.
Yeah, Wink
That's
Martindale is
yeah.
is crazy for that.
That's just bad coaching. Like I wouldn't even put down the personnel.
Yeah, I don't think one. I don't think there's one cornerback in the league that could guard Tyreek with no safety help, press man coverage like that. It's just unbelievable. But the offense looks great. That's why I have them at five.
Yeah, I can see that. Michael, go ahead.
Yeah, I also have the Dolphins at 5, and I was debating between them and the Bills at 4 and 5, and I'll get into why I think that when I go to the Bills. But I just think the Dolphins they're very good, but they're not until until Tua shows me otherwise.
It's the
I don't.
same thing every single week with you two.
Yes,
Well,
and I
nothing's changing until the playoffs. That's
mean, we were proved right when the Bills blew them out. I mean, they
Yeah, but putting up 48 points isn't to his fault. He got taken out, or he didn't play the whole game.
yeah. But I mentioned that I'm scared of the defense, and you asked me why, and I said
Yeah,
because
but
I don't
I
think
was
it's
just on the Tua topic.
yeah, but they're
All right,
they're
whatever. It's the same thing
you
every
just
week.
said like, it's because of the defense, and I said in the previous episode that their defense is scary,
Yeah, I can see that.
and then
But
still Tua like as good as electric as their offense is, like there's a certain level that your quarterback needs to play at to be better than like the Chiefs and Niners.
yeah, granted, Jalen Ramsey hasn't played a snap, and Jalen Phillips only played 2 games, won 2 games. So who knows? But I'm gonna go to my 5 spot and put the Lions there, the Detroit Lions. Goff looks great. Montgomery looks like he's coming into his prime. I don't know what came out of him, but that O line is great. Amon-Ra looks great. He didn't play this week, but still they put up 44 points, 42 points, whatever. Granted, it's the Panthers, but um, yeah, Montgomery looks great even without Gibbs, who's 1B, maybe 2. Uh, Team's a good team. Defense can play well. If they win the trenches, they're going to be a good team. I mean, I feel like that's the name of the game in this day and age. But Matt, go ahead, give us your 4.
four. I have the Bills. Like Michael said, I was between them and the Dolphins, but the fact that the Bills beat them, that's why I have them at four. But I don't know. I feel like every year the Bills are a good team, and they just lose to mid teams like the Jaguars. And last year they lost to the Dolphins. The Dolphins last year were a mid team. Um, but I'm not. I'm being serious. And I think they're 4. I think they're gonna be a threat down the line.
Yeah, I also have the Bills at 4, and I do think the Milano injury is going to hold them back a lot because he is one of the most high level linebackers in the league. Definitely up there with Warner and them. But yeah, I mean, they beat the Dolphins by what, 30?
28.
Yeah.
28.
So that's why I'm putting them ahead. And I think Josh Allen is playing at an MVP level. I mean, he's unreal. I'm not gonna take off too much credit because of the loss to the Jaguars, um, because the Jaguars were in London,
Oh,
and
come on. Are you serious?
yes,
I
That's
think
what
it's a
you're going
fair
to say.
point. Yeah.
That's the only reason they lost.
no,
Apparently,
it's the only. Well, first of all, their whole team was getting injured, and they still almost won. But yeah, I mean, I think a week in London having that clock on your side, and the Bills traveling probably 3 days, 2 days before the game
yeah,
is
2
that's an
days.
advantage.
Okay, fine, but I don't know if you could say
And the
I don't
Jaguars
have.
are a good team too.
Yeah, they are a good team. I don't have the Bills in my top 5 because of that. The Jaguars lost to the Texans by 20 points.
So you have the Dolphins, I assume, in your top 5, but you don't have the Bills.
Correct.
But the Bills destroyed the Dolphins.
Interesting. There's
Correct.
no bias there.
No.
Okay.
Okay, I'll get to it after, but I just think the Dolphins' offense is just it's special, dude. I mean, come on. And
Yeah.
that's the reason I'm putting them.
I think the
I don't
Bills
even, all right, whatever. Let's go to what?
I think the Bills offense is special.
Okay. Okay, whatever. My 4.
What?
No,
Are you saying they're not special?
but I don't think they're anything like special.
I mean, Josh Allen is the second best quarterback.
Yes, I agree. I agree.
And in another universe where Mahomes doesn't exist, he's Mahomes.
Okay, well, speaking of Mahomes, I'm gonna put the Chiefs at my 4. The opponents they've played just haven't impressed me at all. If they played a decent opponent, I'd put them up higher. 4 straight wins, great. Minnesota isn't that good anymore. Justin Jefferson didn't play half the game, and they only beat him by 7. Beat the Jets. Zach Wilson, we know what his deal is. While we're on that, did he show you anything, Wilson, or have we bought into him a little more? Or is it still he sucks?
He sucks.
I bought into him as a person. I used to not like him because I thought
Yeah, I agree.
I thought he was cocky, full of himself last year. You know, the press conference last year where he said he put the defense down.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like he matured a lot, and he's probably gets the most hate and under the most pressure out of anyone in New York sports right now. And you can't deny that he has played better the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I agree, 100%. But
they really could. What's their record? 2-3. They could have a winning record if they pulled off that game versus the Chiefs last week. Didn't throw that interception or fumble actually.
do you think they have 0% chance at the playoffs? Do we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers coming back week 13, week 15.
No, I don't think it's gonna happen.
Okay, Michael, give us your 3 team.
Yeah, I have the Eagles. The Rams game was great. It was great to watch. The Rams are a very surprising team, but we're not talking about them. We're talking about the Eagles. It was a great game. The Eagles handled. I mean, Hurts and Swift on the ground is hard to stop. I mean, I'm not going to give too much credit to Swift. I still don't think he's that great of a running back, but the O line has been as good as we've expected it. I mentioned the previous episodes they need to get AJ Brown going, and I mean he's been one of the. I mean he's shown why he's one of the best receivers in the league, and their defense is solid. Their defense isn't. I mean Jalen Carter, that addition was. I don't know how the league let the Eagles get Jalen Carter because their defensive line is unreal. I feel like Hassan Reddick's been quiet and they're still dominating defensively. So, yeah, I mean, they're the second best team in the NFC and they'll probably be in the NFC Championship.
And they activated Nakobe Dean today, who's still a first-round pick or early second, excuse me, right? So
he was later, but yeah.
Was he? Oh,
yeah, I think so.
Matt, go ahead, your team.
I have the Chiefs at my 3. I honestly haven't really been that impressed by them. like Michael said, they barely beat the Vikings, and you could argue, you think that call was a pass interference on fourth down?
I don't really know which one you're talking about. In all
Like
honesty.
when where L'Jarius Sneed took off his helmet. Remember, they didn't call the no helmet. They
Oh.
didn't call the helmet, and then they called the PI, took it away, and then they should have gotten a penalty for the helmet.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't really like when people blame things on the refs unless it's like blatant.
Yep. Yeah, I agree.
Okay, that's a fair point. But I just think they barely beat the Jets. They blew out the Bears. They kind of barely beat the Vikings, who aren't that good. But if you have Mahomes, it's all that matters. And I don't know about you guys. I was really nervous when Kelsey got injured. I thought he tore his ACL
Yeah.
with the way he went down.
Sorry, sorry to cut you off. A non-contact injury in like today's day and age, you always assume the worst. At least I do.
You know, Swifties were freaking out on that.
Yeah, especially. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Especially the way he landed, but yeah. My 3 teams, the Dolphins. I just think that offense is special, dude. I mean, most yards in the first 5 games ever. Did you guys see what Mike McDaniel said?
No.
There was a reporter asked him his thoughts on that. He goes, "Yeah, that's all we're looking to do this whole season." Like he's like, "This season's complete. The ultimate goal has been accomplished."
He's funny. I like him.
He's a great guy. But A-Chain, he looks great. I mean, the way the speed is just absurd. I mean, Tyreek 180 yards this past week. A-Chan another 100-yard game. I don't know. It's just I think they could score with any team. That's just my rationale. Granted, the defense we all have issues with, which is valid reasons, but I think they could put up 35 on a given day. So that's why I have him in my 2.
Evan, are you concerned that A-Chain's out, even though they have Mostert? Because Mostert's still a really good running back.
No, they're also getting Jeff Wilson back within the next week or 2, maybe 3. But granted, he doesn't have the speed and explosiveness like A-Chain. But yeah, it definitely sucks because he was just
Evan's frozen for me.
Not for me.
Nah, I'm good.
So I I don't know what's going on.
Right. Everything's fine for me. Yeah.
What up, Matt? Mugs? It's all good. Matt,
yeah,
give us your give us your number 2 team, Matt.
2 team. I got the Eagles. I think the Rams are a decent team. Like that was a good win for the Eagles. Their roster is just too good every single spot. Like the O line, the defense. Michael said Nakobe Dean is back. I think they're easily getting to the NFC Championship.
Yeah, I just think
Evan's still frozen for me, so I don't know what to do.
it's you. All
right, we'll just talk right now.
Yeah, I think it depends on the draw that they get. Like if they get the Niners in the second round or at a division round, then who knows? Like I don't know if, but yes, I think they're the second best team in the league or in the NFC and the league. I have in my 2 spot as well.
I'm assuming they're going to be 1 and 2 seeds.
Yeah,
yes.
I think we can agree with that. But Dallas Goedert looked great this week. The squeaky wheel a little bit. He complained a little bit. Nick Sirianni said he wanted to give him the ball. 80 yards and a touchdown. He had 5 catches, 50 yards on the first drive and a touchdown. So that
wow, I didn't even know that stat. That's crazy.
Yeah, it looked great. I mean, defense still looks good. Matt Stafford can sling the ball a little bit, so I was pretty impressed with them. And if Michael can give us his 2, maybe.
Michael, you want to give us your 2?
Yeah, I mean, I'm hearing you talk to a blank screen right now. It's kind of fun.
I'll moderate for you.
Okay. Yeah, it just says he's like loading. It doesn't even show his face. My 2. Wait, are we on the 2 team?
Yeah.
My 2 team is the Chiefs. Because I mean we've talked about the Chiefs enough, but they have Mahomes. So like at the end of the day, they're the team I'm gonna bet on to do the best in the long run and in the playoffs.
Can we ask Michael if we can all agree that the Niners are the 1 seed, 1 team?
Yeah, so we can all agree that the Niners are the 1 seed.
Yeah.
Right, Michael? We don't even need to discuss that.
They just look great. I mean, the defense, the offense, Brock Purdy is fantastic. CMC's MVP up there. Who knows?
I mean, at what point? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. At what point do you say Brock Purdy's a good quarterback?
Yeah, give him some.
Man.
You could say Tom Brady was a system quarterback on the Patriots, but he was a winner.
Hell yeah! I mean, the way he moves in the pocket, he looks great. He really does look great.
I agree. He's still paying rent with like a roommate because he's on the rookie contract.
And I think he's sharing it with his like a teammate and his fiance or something.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Should be being paid more.
yeah, I agree. But speaking of Brock Purdy, let's go to some overreactions. They haven't heard this one yet. I don't know if Michael can hear me yet, but I'm gonna say Brock Purdy has inserted himself into the MVP conversation. What do you think, Matt?
I agree. So I don't think it's an overreaction that Brock Purdy is top 5 MVP can't race right now. He's playing amazing. I don't care if he doesn't have the size, the talent. He's winning, putting up great numbers too. Michael, what do you think?
What was that? I don't know.
Brock
So
Purdy,
annoying.
top 5 in MVP race, overreaction or not an overreaction?
Yeah, I mean, I would say not an overreaction. I wouldn't give him MVP just because I think there's so many valuable pieces
Yeah.
of that offense.
That's a good point.
But in terms of NFL voters, like they have to consider him because the quarterback is ultimately going to win the MVP, and he's leading one of the best offenses and teams in the NFL.
I just think he's like he's a system quarterback. I agree, but I don't think an everyday quarterback can come in and take and do what he's doing. You know what I'm trying to say?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's great in the system. Granted, blah, blah, whatever. He looks great. Kyle Shanahan's great for him. But if a Mac Jones came in, I don't know if he has the production. Speaking of Mac Jones,
You saw that Dan Orlovsky tweet, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah.
This is what I'm gonna say. Mac Jones is a bad quarterback, and it's not the skill position players. So what I'm saying is, yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
I think it's like a mix. I would say not an overreaction. So, Michael, the question is, Mac Jones is a bad quarterback, and it's not the blame of the skill positions. Not an overreaction. I just don't see it in him. He's so unlikable. Like, I don't think he shows anything good. I mean, in my opinion, he was overrated his rookie season. He wasn't really doing much. I would get rid of him. And also, can I add something onto this question?
Go ahead.
You mind? Overreaction, not overreaction. Bill Belichick needs to be fired after this season.
I don't know what the deal is with that. I really don't. I mean, I really don't know. I mean, at what point do we say, okay, like you're done? I just think his past is holding him there. If he didn't keep winning last year, or excuse me, a couple years back, I don't think he's still there. But I think just the name Belichick is keeping him in a spot at the moment.
Yeah, Michael, what are
He
your
look
thoughts?
awful.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of Mac, I mean, I don't know. The offense as a whole is a disaster, but he's definitely one of the main problems. I'm not sure. Like, I guess they just got to play it out and see if they are in position to take a new quarterback. I would say that's where they are. And then in terms of Belichick, I would hold on to him for now because I think his specialty is still defense, and it's hard for your defense to play well when your offense is so bad, throwing pick sixes, going 3 and out. So I would keep him, but I would say his days are probably coming to an end because he's old.
All right, last one. Puka and Cooper Kupp are the best wide receiver duo in the league.
All right. So, Michael, you want to start off? Puka and Cooper Kupp are the best wide receiver duo in the league.
No, I wouldn't say that. I would probably give it to. It's hard. It's tough between the Dolphins duo, the Eagles duo, and the Bengals duo. I would take all 3 of those duos over the Rams because Puka and Kupp have been amazing, but I just don't think they're as like high level players as the players on the teams I just said. Because McVay's system is great, and we've seen Puka and Kupp make like amazing catches, and it's not all in the system, but I think that's a big part of it.
It's a good point.
I agree.
It's a good point. Yeah, I mean, I think Hill and Wallace still up there, like you said. I don't know if I would put Higgins and Chase up there in that same conversation. I would put AJ Brown and Devontae Smith up there though, but I mean they both look great. Even with Kupp back, Puka had a great game. He had a touchdown. He had 80 yards, I think, something like that, and he looks great. Offensive Rookie of the Year maybe, but Matt, what do you think?
I think it's an overreaction. I still think the Eagles and the Bengals are above another tier. Every other team. I think Tyreek Hill probably the best wide receiver in the league, but Jalen Waddle's obviously great, but I don't think he's on a tier like Devontae Smith and T. Higgins.
He's definitely
He's better than Puka in my. He's shown more than Puka. Puka's, we haven't had a big sample size to see him, but Jamar Chase and Bengals and Eagles, I would put higher.
Yeah, I agree. Let's go to a little new segment. Let's do dog of the week, week 5. Little dog player we were impressed with. Matt, go ahead, give it to us.
All right, my dog of the week, surprising, Nathaniel Hackett. It was a big reaction out of it.
That's
Listen,
good.
those
That's
comments
good.
by Sean McVay was so ridiculous in the offseason. Like you realize they never even met. They had no relationship. He said that for his own good because he was trying to rile up his guys. And I'm so happy Hackett won. And Peyton looks distraught. And
He looks like a
the Broncos
clown.
are worse. They're worse this year than last year statistically, which is crazy. So I'm very happy they won. Michael, your dog of the week.
Yeah, I love that pick. But I'm gonna go with DJ Moore after his 200-yard, 3-touchdown performance on Thursday Night Football against the Commanders. His strength at the catch point was the biggest thing that stood out to me. Like there was just balls that Fields would throw up to him, and he would just snag it out of the air. And the last one where he ran 50 yards right after, and the second touchdown in the back corner of the end zone where he just plucked it out of the air over the defender. I think he's always had that in him. He's just played for the Panthers, so he didn't really get to show it. And now he's in the beginning of the season, Fields was bad, so he didn't get to show it. But now Fields is kind of figuring it out as a passer, playing looser, and DJ Moore had the chance to get fed, and he took advantage of it.
I couldn't agree more with Michael. I'm kind of gonna add on to it, do a little caveat to it. I'm gonna say the duo of Fields and Moore. The 8 catches, 260 yards, 3 touchdowns. I mean, it's absurd. I mean, Fields played great. Michael said he's trusting himself now. I think he's playing loose. I don't think he's playing scared anymore. Is what I'm seeing the most out of him. But yeah, I mean, he was getting hated out through the whole first 4 weeks, 5 weeks, but silence the haters is what he did to me, including myself. I mean, I didn't think he was a good quarterback, but yeah, I completely agree. Matt, your favorite part of the podcast, fancy player of the week, week 6. Go ahead.
Fantasy player of the week, Tyreek Hill, playing the Panthers.
Sir.
You could honestly put him every week as fantasy player of the week because he's guaranteed over 100 yards or at least a touchdown a week. And the Panthers' defense is just terrible. The offense can't stay on the field. I feel like it's a 3-and-out every single time.
Yeah.
And can we all agree Bryce Young just does not look good?
I don't know.
Michael, can you still not hear Evan?
Yeah, I can't.
I mean, it looks like C.J. Stroud should have been the first pick, but it's too early. But I'm taking Tyreek. It's the obvious and boring pick.
Stroud looks great. He
Yeah,
really does look great.
Michael, your pick?
Yeah, I'm going with T.J. Hawkinson versus the Bears.
I like that.
Jefferson is on IR with the hamstring injury,
Never thought of that.
and the Bears defense, as good as the offense looked, is still not great. So I think Hawkinson's going to be the focal point of that offense now, and he gets a great matchup right away with no Jefferson against the Bears, and I think he could be due for maybe 10-plus targets, 8-ish catches, and maybe a touchdown or 2.
No, that's a great. I never thought of it like that. That's a great point though. But I'm gonna go to the little boring pick. Let's go Cooper Kupp against the Cardinals, who just got absolutely torched by Jamar Chase, who we haven't really touched on, but he looks great. He's 7'11", always open.
Yeah, that was a good tweet.
Yeah, that was great. I mean, his first drive, he had 5 catches, 60 yards. They wanted to get him the ball early and often, and he looked great. And now he gets a favorable matchup against a team that just got absolutely demolished. So, I mean, all the pieces align, I feel like. So, yeah, that's Cooper Kupp, baby. Let's go looking into week 6 a little bit. Let's do some 4 little picks. Games aren't that good, but some highlight games. Let's go Seahawks travel to Cincinnati and take on the Bengals. Matt, go ahead. Give us your first pick.
All right, I'm going to take the Bengals over the Seahawks. I feel like the Bengals just had the week they needed. They need to push through on the offense, get something going. I think Jamar Chase's I'm always effing open comments actually helped the team. They just need to throw it up to him. Good things will happen because you're better off throwing an interception and chucking it up to Jamar Chase than doing what they were doing the first 4 weeks. The Seahawks defense, it's all right, but I'm taking the Bengals because of the momentum from last week. What are your thoughts, Michael?
Yeah, I think this might be the best game of the week, and I'm going to take the Bengals as well at home. Yes, they played the Cardinals, but Burrow and Chase, that duo looked as back as ever. I mean, I was so worried about them after the first few weeks, but I think they might start to creep towards the team they used to be. Maybe not quite get there, but definitely some improvement last week, and I'm going to say they're going to build off that and beat the Seahawks.
I'm going to make it a clean sweep and take the Bengals as well. Just home field, who knows? But it's a good home field. Granted, they don't have to travel across the country, Seattle. But it's just Joe Burrow looks great. If he could stay on 2 feet and that calf can just not linger and get healthier rather than more injured, whatever, go more towards 100%, I think the Bengals are in a good spot. And like he said, I think Jamar Chase, I think it was you that said that, Matt. The comments helped out the team. That's exactly what they needed, a little fire under there, you know what. But, yeah, let's
also
go.
a little funny how they had this amazing game without T. Higgins, really.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, let's go to another good game. AFC South battle. 3-2 Colts take on the 3-2 Jags. Colts without Anthony Richardson, got Jonathan Taylor back last week. Matt, give us your pick.
I'm taking the Jags over the Colts just because I think the Jaguars are going to use the momentum from beating the Bills last week. I think this can be a good game. Gardner Minshew, he's good. He's decent for a backup.
He's serviceable.
Upper tier backup.
I think he's a serviceable backup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But my one concern about the Colts is can Anthony Richardson stay healthy? Every week there's a new problem.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking the Jags. Who are you taking, Michael?
Yeah, I'm also taking the Jags. They're home. They're coming off a big win against the Bills, and I docked the Bills for playing in London not dock the Bills because they played on such short notice. So maybe the Jags coming back from London has an effect because they've spent 2 weeks in there, which could be an interesting thing to watch. But yeah, I'm still going to take them. As solid as Minshew's been, I just think he limits their ceiling more than Richardson does, and that's why I'm taking the Jags.
I think all these division games are kind of a toss-up, and I was leaning towards the Jags, but just to be a little more interesting, I think the Colts get it done. I just think the running game for the Colts is really good. Taylor didn't even get the ball, and they still had 200 rushing yards. Zach Moss looks great. He looks young as can be, but he's fighting for a spot, an everyday spot, if you know what I'm trying to say. But, yeah, I do think Gardner Minshew, like Michael said, lowers the floor and the ceiling a little bit, but he's serviceable, like we said. Shane Steichen's a great coach, and, yeah, there's anything can happen in these division games, in my opinion, but let's go to another good game. Lions go to Tampa Bay, take on the Bucks, who'll be in those orange cream jerseys that I love. Matt, go ahead.
Really, I might disagree with you on that. I'm not a fan. Yeah.
I think they're great.
Should be more red.
Okay.
They are the Bucks.
I can see that. A little throw.
I get your point, too.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to take the Lions over the Bucks. I don't think this game's going to be close at all. When the Bucks played the Eagles, Baker Mayfield didn't play amazing. He kind of reverted back to his old self, and I'm not acting like the Lions defense is anything special. It's decent, right? And I just think the Lions have a better offense, and we're the Baker Mayfield cycle, he's good, he plays bad, he's a bust,
Yeah.
give him another shot, he's good. We're in the good cycle, so I'm just waiting for the bad to happen. Who are you taking, Michael?
Yeah, I was between both teams in this game, but I think I'm going to take the Lions because I'm worried about Baker in the pocket against the Lions pass rush. I think he can get a little panicky in the pocket a lot. His feet start scrambling, and he doesn't really know what to do. He's played better this year, but I still think Hutchinson's going to have a big game, and the Lions have looked better and better every week, and I think they'll continue to improve why they are a top 10 team.
Another clean sweep. I think the Lions get it done. I don't really think it's a close game. Granted, they're both one-loss teams, but I think the Bucks are a little worse than their record shows. So, Jared Goff impressed me. The running game impressed me. Like I said, Amon-Ra hopefully comes back. Defense looked great. What is it? No.
Richards. Oh.
Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah.
And Aiden Hutchinson looks great. But let's go Monday night. Cowboys head to LA and take on the Chargers. Stephen A. Smith is in the building. Matt,
really?
give us your pick.
Man, I'm so torn. I'm gonna take the Chargers, just because I don't know Dak. I'm just not a fan of Dak Prescott as a player. The Cowboys, they disappear in big moments. I was completely shocked by the game 2 nights ago. I didn't expect this to be that big of a blow. I thought they actually had a chance. Michael, you still have the Cowboys as your Super Bowl pick in the Super Bowl?
No. I mean that was.
Ask him if he took
I
his
think the
lap.
Diggs injury had a big part of it, but
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. They kind of have fallen apart, and I think I put too much. I think Dak's better than people think, but I forgot that he's not like one of those high level quarterbacks.
Do me a favor and ask Michael if he took his victory lap, like you mentioned earlier.
Did you take your victory lap, Michael?
Did I?
That's coming from Evan. That's coming from Evan.
Yeah, I think I did. I'm gonna take that back.
Is anyone else confused why the Cowboys don't use CeeDee Lamb like teams use their wide receiver one?
Yeah.
I mean, just get him the ball in open space. I mean, good things happen when you get your best players the ball. So, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. Michael, who you taking?
Make the pick.
Yeah, I'm taking the Cowboys. I I think this will be an interesting game because it's two as good as the Cowboys started the season. It's two pretty underwhelming teams overall, and I think the Cowboys will have some fire in them and want to bounce back because everyone's saying what we're saying, that they're down and out. They played the 49ers, so how much can you buy into that game? I still think it was a disaster for them, but the Niners dominate mostly every team, so I think they'll bounce back and beat the Chargers.
I agree that they played the Niners, but the Cardinals played the Niners closer than the Cowboys did, which is just a big saying to me.
And the Giants.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. Just the Cowboys really looked bad to me. It was a bad taste in my mouth, and that's why I'm going to take the Chargers. Dak really scared me last week. Michael Parsons has becoming less and less impactful, and we don't hear his name as much. 42 points against that defense is not what we expected at all. But Justin Herbert is playing pretty well this year. Keenan Allen is a top 10 wide receiver at the moment. So Eckler's back. I mean, 99% back after yesterday's comments. But yeah, so I'm going to take the Chargers. Anything else you want to add?
I feel like the only person that could hold the Chargers back is Brandon Staley.
Yeah, 1,000%. I agree.
Yeah, and also, you guys, what are your thoughts on the whole, or Michael, what are your thoughts on the whole J.C. Jackson trade and refusing to play for the Chargers?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's good for the Patriots, I guess, to get him back. I'm not sure the contract details on who's paying him the big contract, but yeah, I mean, just the signing in the first place. I thought it was good when it happened for the Chargers, but looking back, you shouldn't really pay a Belichick corner because a lot of their corners just end up being good from the system. You shouldn't pay him a lot of money.
I just think it's pretty unprofessional. Like, I don't know him as a person. Could be a great guy, but just first impression to me is just unprofessional, saying he doesn't want to go in. I just don't know how you could do that.
It's like not like the team was playing bad around him and he was playing good. Like, he was not playing good.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, he made it seem like he was like a star on the team where he was one of the problems that they were having. I just don't know. It just makes no sense to me.
Yeah, I agree.
Sense. Well, week 6 starts in a few days. Tomorrow night, Denver heads to Kansas City. Excuse me. Enjoy week 6. Sorry for we're making some improvising. Matt, a little middleman, but enjoy week 6, and we'll see you guys soon.